In this episode, we'll walk through creating an Amazon API Gateway HTTP API and connecting it to the internal application load balancer we set up in the previous episode using a VPC link. This HTTP API will provide us with a secure HTTPS URL, ensuring that data is encrypted during transit. Unlike HTTP, which sends data in plain text, HTTPS helps protect sensitive information by encrypting communication. I recommend reviewing the official Amazon API Gateway documentation and pricing before proceeding. You can also review the differences between REST APIs and HTTP APIs. Go to the AWS Management Console and search for API Gateway. Click on this link. Click Create an API. In the HTTP API section, click the Build button. Enter the API name. Click Next. Click Next. Click Next. Click Create. Click Create. Choose a method and enter a path to create a route. Click Create. Create a security group for the VPC link. Enter a name and description for the security group. Choose the VPC we created in the earlier episode. In the Outbound Rules section, choose HTTP as the type. Select the security group of the internal application load balancer as the destination. Click Create Security Group. Select the security group of the internal application load balancer. click Inbound Rules, click Edit Inbound Rules, click Add Rule, select HTTP as the type, select the security group for the VPC link as the source, click Save Rules. Return to the HTTP API we created. Click Integrations. Click Create and attach an integration. Select Private Resource as the integration type. Choose Select manually. Select the internal application load balancer created in the previous episode. Select HTTP as the listener. Click Create New VPC Link. Enter a name for the VPC link. Select the VPC created in the earlier episode. Choose the subnets where the EC2 instances are located. Select the security group for the VPC link and click Create. Copy the HTTPS URL for the API gateway. API gateway, which is public facing, needs to send traffic to private resources in our VPC like an internal application load balancer. To do this, API gateway automatically creates an ENI elastic network interface in our VPC. This ENI acts like a gateway or bridge between our API gateway and the private resources inside our VPC. Since API gateway uses an ENI to route traffic to our internal application load balancer, which is inside our private subnets, we need to make sure that traffic can flow freely between these two private subnets, even if they are in different subnets. I will show you how I configured the network ACLs. Now let's try sending a request to the HTTPS URL for the API gateway from an EC2 instance in the EU West 2 region with this public IP address. We will paste the HTTPS URL we copied and run this command. This is the private IP address of the ENI managed by API Gateway. This is the private IP address of the ENI for our internal application load balancer. This is the private IP address of the EC2 instance that hosts our web API. This is the public IP address of the EC2 instance in the EU West 2 region, which we used to send the request to API Gateway. In the next episode, we will use Amazon Cognito as the authorizer for this Amazon API Gateway HTTP API.